Hey everyone, hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, it's been that it's been that type of feeling for me the last couple of days, and this video this is gonna be a little different today as far as what I'm normally talking about. I'm gonna get a little bit more personal in this video because I think it's relatable, and it's really unfortunate how things work sometimes, and it's also important to understand that there's just certain things that we can't avoid when it comes to self improvement, when it comes to bettering ourselves, when it comes to self development, all of the things that kind of revolve around what this channel stands for, as far as just improving the way we see the world, adjusting our view to the correct worldview, and whatever that may be. And again, these are things that are constantly changing. This is work that never ends, really, if you think about it. As far as just working on ourselves, getting better, improving, and that's again, that's the journey that I'm on. Making these videos is a part of that journey for me. But it's been really crazy the last couple of days for me, and this is just gonna be kind of like my this is gonna be my I guess my psychological moment here, where I'm on the couch and I'm talking to my therapist, right? However we might need to view that, because I've encountered something over the last, probably about the last week, to be honest, that it's frustrating, and it feels like my mind, like I kind of got kidnapped by my own mind, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So I'm pushing myself to ultimately become the most excellent version of myself. However much I can achieve, in this lifetime. And that's, not only my mental health, but also my physical health, spiritual, um, just wanting to achieve and wanting to attain what could be, what's possible for me. And that's my pursuit, and that's why I am getting into life coaching, because that's what I want to help others do as well. And I think it's just a valuable outlook to have. I think it's a valuable understanding of life and how precious it is, right? And really how much of a gift it is that we're out here, that we're free, that we have mobility, that we have ability to get better. Now, obviously, the hard part is the progression itself. And so recently I encountered something this past week. You can call it we could call it an uphill battle. We can call it probably a lot of different things. And it basically, what I'm explaining is my mind and lack of motivation to actually pursue what I'm after, and kind of just hit a really rough patch these last couple of days, not really being motivated, not wanting to do much. And it's weird because it's like, I know deep down inside, I know deep down within, with all honesty and with all sincerity, that this is something that I want to pursue. I want to be the best version of myself. I'm doing this not only for me, but I'm doing this for those that are coming behind me, my kids, and anyone else who, I may have a chance to be someone that they look up to be somebody that, um, is sort of a mentor, is an advisor, is, provides counsel. Whether we like it or not, there's always someone watching, right? And we've probably heard that said before. And so people are looking at you, and some people might take exception to I don't want to say take exception, but some people might, see something in you that they really admire, and they really want to go after themselves. And so, again, I know deep down inside that I mean what I say, and I know that this is something that I want to do, and I know that it's something that is important for me to pursue in my life. Right? It's a part of my purpose, part of the reason why I'm here, why I exist. But this last couple of days, and I think it was probably a combination of a lot of things. So, and what I'm saying in this video is I'm trying to unwrap these things. I'm trying to like really kind of dissect and deep dive into these things so that if you're in a similar situation, or when you do come across a similar situation, you know that you're not the only one. And I'm not even going to say that everybody will go through the same thing I'm going through. I think that's something else that's unique. I mean, our minds work different. Our patterns are what's instilled in us is different. There's a lot of similarities, being that we're human beings, but there's going to be some differences. But let me explain my situation. So the last couple of days, I've just haven't been motivated to work on my business, to really work on myself, and I can't figure it out. I started thinking like, man, like what's going on? Like why all of a sudden are you so unmotivated? Like why all of a sudden are you not, wanting to push yourself? And don't get me wrong, I haven't completely shut down and like disappeared, but I'm not doing what I know I should be doing as far as, to keep pace with the goals that I'm trying to accomplish. And there's work to be done. But I'm also sitting here and I'm also saying, you know what? I'm a person, I'm a man, I'm a human being. And beating myself up or being super hard on myself isn't going to help either. So where does that leave me? And again, this is with the hopes that if you ever come across a certain situation, you find yourself in a similar type of mindset, that this will be helpful to you. Because I can't really figure it out, to be honest. It bothers me. It bothers me that I get in that type of funk, I guess you would say. And I'm trying to figure it out. And so going back to what I said earlier about, it seems like my mind, I got kidnapped by my own mind. Like, what do I mean by that? I think what's happening is that my mind, my body, everything, every part of me is fighting back against this change. Fighting this change. Which is really weird, because it's like, let's say if let's say I was two people, right? I was the person you see here, and then I was another person, right? And let's say that other person represents my mind and the parts of me that I have no control over. And it's disagreeing with me. It's disagreeing with my decisions. It's disagreeing with my pursuit, right? It's almost like this other person in me is saying like, we don't want to do this. We don't want the change. We don't want the work. We don't want to do this. This is not comfortable. This is not, this isn't easy. And so, you know what? I'm just going to roll myself into a ball and sit there and just be dead weight. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like just dead weight, like trying to motivate myself, trying to get back into a flow, trying to get back into like a rhythm and work and really just, check off the boxes every day to show myself that I'm making progress. Now, again, not saying that I haven't done anything. Yes, I've gone to the gym. I haven't gone the last couple of days, but I'll be back in there. I miss it. Kind of messed up my shoulder a little bit, so I'll be back in there tomorrow. I have read, and I have made some notes. I have made some journal entries and things like that, but not at the pace that I would want to be. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just take an entirely different approach to the whole situation, because the old Josh would have just sat there and I would have just, berated myself and told myself how, this, and this I am because I'm not doing this. That's pointless. That doesn't work. That doesn't solve anything. So don't waste your energy like that. And I'll try not to waste mine either. What I'd rather do is try to put that energy into better use. So let's put that into better use by trying to just figure out, what is this? What is happening? And what can I do about it? So for me, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, my mind, my whole mentality, right? And it goes deeper, right? When you're talking about your subconscious mind, you're talking about things that are embedded in your mind, in our minds, that we don't even think about anymore. We don't even know they're there. But they have such an influence on what we do consciously. And so this goes deep. And somewhere within, there's something's being disturbed. Some old mindset, some old way in me is being disrupted, because I'm reinventing myself. I'm changing the trajectory of where I want to go in life. I'm becoming a different person than the one that I used to be. And so somewhere deep within, there's this like rejection of that change. There's a fight. Like, it's like the old me is saying like, nah. No. We don't want to do this. It is hard work. It is challenging, and this is part of the challenge. Is that my mind sometimes will just want to freeze up. That fight or flight mode. And somewhere in me, it wants to run away. Because it's hard to change. It's hard to become different. We don't realize how many things are just ingrained in us, how many things are just woven into us. That could be old ways of thinking, emotions, right? Last week I talked about emotional response. Like, all those things are embedded deep down inside. I had a situation last week where, my response was like, where did that come from? And so all these things that I'm talking about in these videos, I'm experiencing this stuff, and it's intense. It's heavy. It's heavy. I remember when I was in marriage counseling, my counselor, she said something, and I'll never forget. And I don't know that it's her quote, but she says, we judge people by their actions, but we judge ourselves by our intentions. Let that sink in for a little bit. It's so obvious for me to see what someone is or is not doing. And for me to go ahead and just, give them my 2 cents and say, hey, this is what I feel like you need to do. But when it comes to me, that is a much more difficult task. That is it can be overwhelming, because there's so many things that I have to sift through. Like, if you guys have ever seen one of those archaeological digs or paleontology, I don't know if it's archaeology, paleontology, forgive me. It's really cool, I know that. But you see people digging up dinosaur bones, and obviously there's quicker ways to unearth these old fossils, right? But you can't just go in there with a bulldozer and start digging stuff up. You're gonna break things. This, at a certain point, has to be handled with care. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a video of one of those digs, and they've got these little brushes or these little, little tools that they're slowly, taking away the dirt and slowly, brushing away the little tiny intricacies of the skeleton of the fossil. And it's almost like, man, it doesn't seem like they'll ever get done. Like, at that pace, it's like man, we're never going to see this thing. But then sometime later, there it is. It's this full dinosaur skeleton revealed. And that's just kind of how this process is. And I'm learning it. And I'm struggling with it. And I'm wrestling with it. Like this is a real thing. I'm not always in a great mood. I'm not always in a pumped up mood. I'm not always super motivated. This is a meticulous process. And that's why most of us will never even, take this on. I mean, I get it. I get it. It's hard, but man, what's the prize that awaits? I remember working I had a job with a temp agency, and our job was to empty these 28-foot trailers or 50-foot trailers, or might as well have been a football size of a football field, because it was never ending, and it was filled with these 100-pound bags of cement mix. And my job was to take those bags from the trailer, stack it onto a pallet, so high, I forgot how many I had to stack up, until the entire trailer was empty. Now, imagine, and I don't know if you've ever been in logistics, or if you've ever been in that industry, imagine opening up a trailer, like the ones that you see on the big rigs going on the freeway, and it's packed from top to bottom with bags of cement. And your job is to take those out of the trailer, stack them on a pallet until the whole trailer's empty. Well, obviously, when you first open that door, it's intimidating. And it's like, how am I going to get this done today? How do they expect me to do this? And then you start working. You start pulling out the bags, stacking pallets. Still looks like there's a lot. Still looks like you haven't done much. So you keep going. And it's heavy work, and it's hard, and you're tired. And it's the same thing. It's tiresome, but you keep going. And I kept going. That was my job, right? I wasn't done until that trailer was empty. And hopefully they didn't have another one for me to clear out after that. But I remember the feeling of getting, when I could see the wall at the other end of the trailer. And it kind of increases your motivation a little bit. Causes you to forget, how tired you are and how frustrating this work has been, because you're almost done. Because you see something at the end, you see some type of completion at the end. There's something coming. Like you got through it. You made it. I cleared out the trailer. I accomplished this goal that, at first looked impossible. And that's, again, this is where I'm at. This is what changing our lives looks like. This is what self-development looks like. This is what mindset development looks like. And as I kind of sift through this, as I try to figure out, like, okay, what does this mean to me? What adjustments do I need to make? What can I do to try to capture some motivation, to try to, push myself at least, a little bit. And really the whole thing rests on this. It rests on me not quitting on myself. It rests on you not quitting on yourself. Right? We just can't quit on ourselves. We just got to keep going. And that's really just the bottom line. And so, again, I'm in this. As much as I talk about this, as much as I want to help others through this, I'm in it as well. Struggling, wrestling, just sifting through these things, trying to figure out, like, what is it? What is this? How do I overcome this? What's it going to look like the next time around? And again, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of deep diving. There's a lot of questions that I have to ask myself. There's a lot of things that I have to face as I am on my journey to becoming the best version of myself. And, the only answer, the only thing that makes sense is to never quit on myself. And so I won't. I hope you never do either. Because I believe that if we'll push through it and just believe that we can keep going no matter what, we will see something great. Something that couldn't have been seen otherwise. That's exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited to get to a place where I look back at my life and I say, man, I can't believe I got here. I can't believe I was able to do this. I never thought I'd be able to do this. I never thought I'd hold a college degree. Guess what? I have two. I never thought I could do it. I used to have a credit score under 600. Guess what? I have excellent credit now. There's clues. There's always been clues there. I have to remind myself. I have to remind myself that I've done this before. In certain situations, in certain ways, we've done this. The clues are there for what we're able to do, what we can push ourselves, potentially, what we could potentially see more of from ourselves. And so I'm here, today's video, just being real with you, just being 100% authentic and honest with you, just being human. And, sometimes there's days where you just don't feel like it. And sometimes you see these motivational videos and I love these videos, right? When they're telling you, hey, you know what, you gotta want it. You gotta want it. But sometimes you don't even know how to want it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, some of us need to find out that first. Some of us need to get there first. Like, how do I find that desire to want more? How do I even find the desire to be courageous enough to even get started on this journey? And it can be overwhelming. But don't let it be. Don't let it be overwhelming. If all you accomplished today was, hey, you know what? I read a page of a book. Something I never do. You know what? You deserve a round of applause for that. Because even the slightest change, even the slightest pattern interruption can adjust that trajectory. It can send you in another direction, a better direction. All it takes is one little thing and it starts to snowball. It's like a snowball effect, one thing after another. You start to realize, you start to see things different. We start to understand things different. We start to feel things different. Things start to look and hear, sound different to us than they normally would. This is possible, right? And I just wanted to share with you in a difficult moment, in a hard moment, in a moment where, I want to call myself every single name. I want to tell myself I'm a loser, I'm lazy. I want to go off on myself. I wanted to just share a real moment of this journey with you. You're not alone, right? You're not the only one. You won't be the last one. That's what I got to tell myself. And again, to be gracious. I've got to be gracious with myself. And maybe this is that part of the lesson. Maybe this is the lesson that I'm learning right now during this season. Take it easy on myself. Take it easy on ourselves. Believe me, the world's got plenty for us. Society's got plenty for us to weigh us down and beat us down. We don't need to help them. Let's remind ourselves. We might not be where we want to be. We can, though. We might not be the person we wish we were. We can become that person. It's up to us. We either decide we want to keep going or we don't. And again, I understand. Because because it's not easy. But this was helpful. I really appreciate these videos, and I appreciate anybody who's watched them, shared them, subscribed, commented. Please share with your friends. Please let other people know if, maybe this is something that would be helpful for them. But I just appreciate all of you who have taken the time to watch. And I hope, what I've shared with you today is helpful. So I will I'll talk to you at the end of the week.